Welcome back. In the studio today, I've got Eme Bassey, who is sharing her story with us about her two extra special children. Just as we were saying before we went on break, Eme, you got to a period where you were reclusive, and then there were things that you did during this period. And I know that some of the things you told me about was you went into business. What were some of those things I would like you to share with us that you did during that period?
What I can say about that, and I say this hand on heart, is to the glory of God. You know, everything that I did, you know, in those, you know, that led me to where I am now has always been by God saying, do this. Excellent. You know, even when 2006 I wrote a book, you know. I'm somebody who likes to write, so I journal all the time and all that kind of thing, you know. So I wrote a book. This was before Zachary was or just after Zachary was born.
The Pursuit, isn't it? The name of your book?
Yes, the book was called The Pursuit. At the time I published it as Talk to the Shoe. It was 2006, was when it was, end of 2006 I think was when it was published. So shortly after Zachary was little, you know, and it was an instruction. In fact, when I published the book, I kind of published it. It was on Amazon, and I kind of forgot about it. You know. So, but it was like, do this. You know, and then
and what was the instruction to write the book?
To write a book.
And in the book,
you know, so you know, to write a book, and the book was just about the theme of the book was get started, keep going, be unique, be unstoppable. So it was more
irrespective of whatever it was that you were going through.
So it was more a personal development book, and often there were things that I wrote about wrote to myself. You know, like you know, don't procrastinate. You know, so those self-help kind of things. You know, so I would write them down, and then I like pictures. I wrote them with photographs, and it's actually quite a good book.
I know,
if I say so myself.
I agree with you, because I have
so talking about creativity, and then talking about where God is, you know, and then I'm using almost like everyday modern day parables,
very
you know, kind of
inspirational
thing.
book,
So I did that and forgot about it, and then this happened, and this, when it happens, is almost like your life is in fast forward, and your days just blend into each other, you know, so they blend into each other. So I did become quite reclusive, because you know, sometimes you're just too tired to even go anywhere. Sometimes when you go out, you know, and then also my children, especially the younger one, had a tendency to run away. You know, so when he runs off, you know, and then you are looking for him, or you have to call the police,
so on alert all the time.
So you're like, you know, on a constant, you know, on constant alert. So because of that, you'd rather just say, okay, I'm in the house, I can close the doors, I can lock the windows, and you know, that kind of thing, you know. And it's not like you say to yourself, oh, I'm not going to go out. It's just that when something comes up, I'm like, you go, I'll stay, you know, or, you know, my husband, or you go, I'll stay. If we need to go to the shops, or if he goes out, I'm like, stop at the shops and buy what we need. So I didn't even have all those things, you know, and it's not a good place to be. It's not something that I would advise anybody to be, because, you know, I stopped looking after myself, you know, stopped even putting cream on my body, you know, that kind of, you just stand up, jump into the day, at the end of the day, you're tired.
There was a time you were even wearing the same pair of shoes. For almost, you didn't even realize.
I was my husband's shoes.
Exactly.
My husband's shoes were big, like what they call them, Adidas trainers, red Adidas trainers. I would wear them every single day.
Because it becomes emotion, isn't
you know, because you just stand up, you know, get dressed, wear your jeans, put on your trainers, get into the day, you know, do whatever needs to be done. At the end of the day, you're tired, you know. You know, but then, I mean, having said that, I had family, I had friends, you can talk to on the phone, you can Skype, they will come and visit from Nigeria, so I have sometimes some kind of social life in a way, you know, but I did become quite reclusive, you know, and I realized that, I was telling a friend of mine not long ago that I realized that because of that, it affected some of the things I wanted to do in business, because when you're like afraid like that all the time. You don't tell yourself, you don't say, oh, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me will never say, describe me as fearful, you know, but because you're careful, that's what, you know, because you become so careful. You know, so alert to, you don't want to take risks, kind of thing. I discovered that it affected the way that I did some of the things, the businesses, or even some of the things I wanted to do in business, because I had become, it had changed me in that way. You know, but having said that, it's also to the glory of God that I was able to realize that, oh, this is what's happening to me, you know, this is what's happened to me. No, it shouldn't be, you know, this shouldn't be happening to me. And I'll tell you something. When I was, there was an incident where my little one ran off. So we had, we noticed that he kept trying to climb the fence and leave the house. And we were like, where are you going? It was like 4, 5, 6 years old. You know, where are you going? You know, and of course he doesn't talk. You know, so we had the windows, they had to fix something on the windows so that the windows couldn't open properly. And then they fixed something on the back fence so that, you know, you couldn't lock. And then we had, and I remember that day I locked everything, you know. I was like, okay, we're going to be in the house together. I want to do something downstairs and I know he's going to be upstairs. So at least let me just lock everything and just make sure. Anyway, lo and behold, my son had disappeared. These small rats had carried, taken a stool, dragged it to the back garden, climbed over into my neighbor's this thing, and he had gone. And every time I pass by that road where they found him, you know, I'm like, Father, I just give you the glory.
Hallelujah. Who found him? The police?
Yes, so I called the police. By then they had found him. So they said, so they said somebody had seen a 4 or 5-year-old running in and out of traffic on the road. So they found him, they grabbed him, held him. By the time I called, it asked me to describe him, so they knew that that was who I was looking for. I said I was in the house, I've locked everything, and all of a sudden I can't find my son, you know, that kind of thing. So that shocking thing now made me so jittery all the time, you know, that kind of thing. That, you know, made me jittery all the time until one day God said to me, and anybody who knows me knows I don't do God said to me. You know, God said to me, in my hand, he's in my hand. You know, and that was enough for me to just, you know.
That would have been like your own encounter. You know?
Yes, because
especially when you hear God.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you're trying to keep him safe all the time. So yeah, like, oh, my people in the house. I'm like, are the doors locked? Are the windows locked? Where is Zach? Where is he? Where is Zachary? You know, if you're downstairs, like, where is Zachary? Go upstairs and check. What's he doing? You know, then, you know, so everybody was on that kind of, you know, alert, you know. Have you locked the doors? If somebody comes to visit us in the house, as soon as they come in, we'll drag them inside, shut the door, lock it, you know. And we're like, we have to lock the door, you know, and we'll apologize to you when it's time to go. Instead of just opening the door and going out, we'll start bringing locks and, you know, that kind of thing.
But I'm sure after that gave you that peace, isn't it? That
yes. So,
and even in all of this, you then went out, you know, you then still got into training people to make cakes. Remember that? You also went into, I remember you saying to me that you were reading about 70, 80 books.
The main thing I want people to understand, you know, is one, first of all, don't feel sorry for me. Everybody has their thing that is happening to people. You know, but God always has a way to work even in spite of our limitations. That's you know, there's so, I mean, I felt that I was being constrained. Oh, if I could, I would be doing this, and I'll be doing that. If my child, you know, those kind of things, you know. But God actually has a way of still using those same constraints. You know, like when you said, when I said read 70 or 65 or 70 books. Where would I, if I was, maybe I wouldn't have been able to. But because I was
reading one book a year. To be honest with you.
You know, but like because I'm at home, because I'm there, you know, I have to be in that space, you know.
Exactly.
So in a way, God has a plan,
His
you
plans.
know, God has a
always has a
plan, and
strategy.
there's so many blessings that have come almost directly from because of my children, you know, because of my sons. You know, so many things, so many doors that have opened specifically because of them, you know, and so it's not something that once you don't let go, let me not say don't let go of God, you know, and you.
It's always the God factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just His grace. It's grace.
Yes.
You know, so it's all about
the
grace.
Thank you so much, Eme Bassey.
Oh my goodness, I spoke so much.
Anytime, no, that's right. Anytime I speak to you, I'm quite encouraged. And the reason why I particularly wanted you to come on our show is I've heard about people that have maybe a child that is autistic, or you've had two, and the person that actually introduced you to me, I'd seen the work you've done with him. So your business is of a higher standard of any company that is outside there. So you haven't allowed your challenges in life, you've embraced it, leaned completely and totally on God, and you know, you've just gone ahead and done what is required of you. And I think for me, you know, it sums up the kind of person you are and your faith in Christ. And I just want to appreciate you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't even go without mentioning this. Not only have you got your own business, you're even reaching out to help others, because I know that you're helping others to build confidence. I actually asked you about someone and you were willing to take that person on to help them to start off their business, their career.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for doing that, and thank you for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Next week on Story Before Glory. I was asleep in the house and then he called me and said it's happened, and she told my mum, and she had sat her down and said there's a high chance, actually, realistically, you're going to pass away, you're going to die.